Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3. Hello and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I'm Darren Moser, joined as always by my co-hosts Philip and Daniel. Daniel, you're wearing gold, which is kind of out of characteristic. Usually you wear blue, but are you going for a transfer?
Yeah, I like Rutherford. I was inspired to try something new, and
that's perfect.
Everybody was real supportive, which honestly just gave me the warm and fuzzies. I felt real good about it, so I'm gonna try something new today. I'll see how it goes.
Are you one of the baby
I forget,
bears?
did you feel bad that Rutherford wasn't trying for science blue, but only medical blue?
Well, you know, whatever. It's a gateway blue, so it's fine. You can,
Gateway blue.
Is it a teal? Is it a teal blue? You know, or a dark blue?
Like what? It's kind of like what Bashir wore in season 1 of Deep Space Nine. It's like that greenish blue. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the units of weighs and measures and colors of the uniforms in Starfleet, they were a little off when they came out with that color blue. Like it never quite matched all the other blues.
Right. Yeah.
But, well, and Philip, I see you're in red, which I mean normally would be fine, but I didn't you just transfer to another ship? Like shouldn't you be back at the bottom of the totem pole?
Look, I think looking back, this is the way it should have always been. So, it's perfect. I don't think we need to question it back, look back, have any, second guesses. Just accept what it is and go forward.
All right. Well, as we alluded to last week when we covered a lot of second chances as well as the Defiant, talking about Thomas Riker, which in Star Trek The Next Generation is the transporter duplicate of Will Riker, who is a lieutenant. And one of the interesting tidbits that we learned by perusing Memory Alpha, the online database, is that they were actually considering killing Will Riker in that episode, and Thomas Riker, I mean, fortunately played by the same actor, so it didn't really make a big change. But playing as Thomas Riker for the remainder of the show. And Second Chances was the second to last episode of season 6. All that was left was Descent, part 1. And so we tried to not talk about it last week but it was so interesting because we were trying to save it for this week. But we are going to go through the rest of season 7, maybe into the movies. We'll see if we get that far, and see what would it be like if these two key changes. So, in this hypothetical season 7, Thomas Riker stays on the Enterprise. He is a lieutenant. Do we give him a JG upgrade? Like, does he get any sort of promotion after 8 years?
I think. Well, go ahead, Dan.
I was actually just going to say I was thinking the same thing because 8 years is a long time, and
it's a long time.
And Will got promoted because of that mission, and technically he made the same sacrifice play. I think we would give him at least Lieutenant Commander.
Yeah,
coming out.
And I feel like that would kind of ease the blow a little bit for fans, because this is going to be jarring for fans.
You could still call him Commander Riker if you wanted to.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, if he's a lieutenant commander, you can
right.
still...
I hate that. That's like something I absolutely hate.
It's like they don't even change the credits. They're like, I mean, we could, but it's just Commander Riker, whatever.
So okay, so now I'm
we put
stuck
up Commander
Chakotay.
No one cares.
I want to promote him to Lieutenant Commander, but I don't want to refer to him as Commander Riker the entire time.
Commander Thomas?
And we have to say, depending on the situation that we're going to concoct, if we're even going to concoct a situation, does he change the name to Thomas?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying
in that
he
case,
goes
just
by
call him Thomas.
Then. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So let's say at the end of... So we're changing the end of Second Chances. Will Riker dies to get the data, because it's really important, I guess, that we have that data. It's really worth that sacrifice. And now Thomas is we have a nice ready room scene where Picard, is kind of talking to Thomas, and he promotes him right there to, or maybe on the bridge somewhere public where, we're trying to rally the crew around him. But he gets promoted to lieutenant commander, and he gets that little half pip on his collar. So he's lieutenant commander, and then the other promotion that's happening is Data is getting promoted from lieutenant commander to commander, and he's
take that positronic ceiling.
Now we'll have to call
it.
him Commander Data. Wait,
that's right.
Yeah,
so we were
Commander Data,
calling him that already.
And
anyway.
So he is going to be now the new number one, and he is gonna. We'll do a cool moment
sir,
where he steps.
I am your number 2.
Just shut up with it.
No, he is his number 1, but he is the number 2 of the ship.
Yeah.
So
Right, but of course he would have talk about that because
he's the second number 1. So, fine.
I would love for this to be a scene where we see him like going to one of those not field replicators, but like the non-food replicators, the hardware replicators, and he's like pulling out all the red shirts. Like, because he's got his new wardrobe he's got to put in his closet or whatever they do, and he's got to make his new set. So he gets promoted to commander. He is now sitting.
Do you think Data has more than one uniform?
Does he get dirty?
I don't think so.
They occasionally get. Technically, his uniform could be made out of like carbon fiber, like something really durable. No one would care because
programmable matter.
Programmable matter.
Hang on, Derek, real quick, because you are moving ahead full steam, which is great. I do think we got
a lot of episodes to go. This is back in the day where there's like 20-something episodes. So
I understand. I just want to also acknowledge the death of Will Riker. I feel like we need to have
it's a footnote, I guess.
What did he add to the show? I mean, let's be honest.
Like a funeral scene or something, like maybe move Data's promotion to the beginning of Descent, and then have like a funeral scene.
Okay.
Oh well, see, I like that. Potentially, since Descent is about Data experiencing emotion, you can have the beginning of Descent be some sort of thing about Will Riker, where Data's not obviously mourning like anyone else, and so you sort of have to have this sort of not the reverse of a coda, the beginning. Foreshadowing that he can't experience emotions like with the crew.
There's the Pinocchio line we could work in somehow, that Data remembers that he called him that, and you could tell like Data does care about his friend. It's just he portrays it differently, and maybe it makes Descent more about mourning a loved one, because this is like, Tasha aside, like the first major death that we've had in a long time of a main character. We're not even going to go with what it's going to do to Deanna yet. That's going to be a whole other thing. But
rebound.
Well, no, but I think that fits right into what we're doing, though, Daniel. Where I think what changes is this going to do, and I think you're right. I think it's going to mean Descent is going to have to take on the mantle of performing these changes as well. So maybe we end more on a cliffhanger with the end of Second Chances with the death and the shock, and then Descent is showing the what happens next. Because we're like, because I'd tune in. What's going to happen?
Rewriting Descent can only make it better, so there's no problem with that. But
well, maybe then, what Descent needs to do. Descent needs to prove to us that Thomas is worthy of staying. Because it has to. It has to put him in a situation where maybe he's working with Data and Geordi and all of that. Because it's we all kind of know that Data could totally be a commander. And at the end, he's going to be promoted to that. But he's also experiencing these emotions, and it's kind of in question. But during this adventure, we need Thomas to shine. Because otherwise the fans aren't going to get on board with him staying.
You're not going to promote Data until the end of Descent? Is that what you think is a better...
Yeah, I'm thinking we move both promotions into Descent.
I like that. Well, I think...
And leave the end of Second Chances for a little bit of mourning and what's next?
Well, I think... Yeah, because I think at the end of Descent, then you can have at the end, well, which is of course going to be the beginning because it started season 7.
Right. Yeah, we have a 2-part episode to basically establish this new dynamic.
Because at the end there, Data can then be like, because I forget the episode, or I forget how it really ends. But like with him struggling with emotion, or saying like, well, I guess whatever. It's with him destroying the emotion chip. But anyway, him going with Picard and saying, maybe I need to reevaluate. And Picard gives this uplifting speech of like, no, you showed everything, and that's why I know you're worthy of this, and you get that promotion.
He gets the other pick.
And that's how you start season 7 with, Commander Data. And I'm not an alternative for Thomas, not to ignore him, but I almost think his weight, because since Descent is so data heavy,
it is.
Why not give him Gambit? Because that's when he can have a chance.
Oh, so you're saying don't field promote him?
Yeah, you can. I mean, the promotion doesn't. I mean, that's whatever. It doesn't do anything. I mean, you can promote him. But I think.
What about this? What about?
Because that's when he bonds with Picard during Gambit.
That's true.
And that's when you can have that sort of, back and forth of where.
Let's do this. Let's keep him field promoted because that stays in context.
We got to make sure your cover
Will
is canon.
But he's temporarily assigned to the Enterprise, and by the end of Gambit, it becomes permanent because he's shown himself. So I think that is an easier pill to swallow. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no.
I mean, if we're looking at more longer term sort of like development, I wonder how we handle the Picard and Thomas relationship. Is he going to be almost resentful of him because he's like a carbon copy of his friend who just died, or like how is Picard going to react to Thomas?
Or is it kind of you have big shoes to fill, and I'm going to try to do my best to help you fill them? Kind of a.
I almost wonder, and not that Jean-Luc usually plays this role, but I think for this purpose, he can play this role. What if he's almost like the Guinan role? In other words, no one's going to be mean to Thomas, because they're not like that on the Enterprise, but they're all going to be like, you remind me of Will, or always talking about Will, where Jean-Luc's going to be...
so we have like Will name dropped by mistake?
And so, but Jean-Luc's the one who's like, no, I know this is a different person. Because, I mean, even in Second Chances, Jean-Luc, I mean, there wasn't much of him in the episode, but he was very like, Thomas,
I've seen some crazy stuff on my time on the Enterprise.
Like, they don't believe me back at headquarters every time I send them a captain's log. But.
Let me tell you, when I was a blue shirt for like 10 minutes, it was crazy.
Never again.
But what were you saying, Philip?
No, I mean, that was just it, that Jean-Luc can be his champion. And maybe, excuse me, maybe Jean-Luc can struggle a little bit, but... I mean, even emotionally, not that no one's ever going to be mean to him, but obviously Thomas is going to be about finding his place. I mean, you're going to have to deal with the Deanna thing, because obviously that's his anchor, for lack of a better word. But I think Gambit, because I'm almost like, you don't even have to necessarily change it that much, where Thomas is still playing that role that Will played, but so him and Jean-Luc are still together, pretending. That's sort of a private moment, because, I mean, Thomas doesn't know Jean-Luc,
That's true.
I mean,
all right. Well, we'll get to Gambit in a moment, just because that's a little bit away. Fortunately, it's only episode 4, so we get to it.
That was
early.
The next episode, because I made a list of episodes. So I was like, skip. It's like, is this a Data or Riker episode? And I was skipping otherwise.
So we get through Descent, and Data is promoted by the end of Descent. He's the new commander. Everyone cheers. We're not.
Does he grow a beard again?
On that moment,
that's part of the Riker subroutine.
That's a little too much. I think we stick with the leg up. And we're like, Data, what are you doing?
Wait.
What are you doing, Data?
So here, okay, interesting question then. We actually briefly touched on this last week, but do we have Jonathan Frakes shave entirely?
Why not? I say do it.
Yeah.
Oh man,
doesn't matter.
So it would go back to babyface.
It would be reverse growing the beard.
I mean, he's already in the gold uniform, which is a big change, like visually. Like, I'm not worried about us not realizing it's Thomas, because it's gold uniform, and that means it's Riker, or it's Thomas. But
I say take it off, because I think even for a casual viewer, because TNG is pretty popular. I mean, we know that. But
does that mean Riker bookends TNG with no beard with season Riker, 1 and season 7? Okay, you know what? Boom! I got how we do it in Liaisons. It's all about Remember, it's all about them experiencing humanity and all of that. And so we have a scene where one of them is paired with Thomas, and he's like, a lot of how we adorn ourselves says a lot about us as people, and the fact that we can choose and change how we present. And he just shaves it right there and shows I haven't had a razor in 8 years or something like that.
I was just thinking, because this is
future razor, whatever it is. But
I mean, I know he's the same age as Will, but for intents and purposes, this is young Riker. What if it's because he gets up
emotionally young?
He's getting and even But yes. But what if it's like a betting thing? Like it's almost like. The guys, it's sort of like a series of bets with his liaison alien. And one of them is if you lose, you have to shave your beard. And the next scene just shows him clearly
yeah. Either a bet
it's
or
like truth or dare,
just
but
sharing part of the the human experience. So by the end of Liaison, he's clean shaved Riker and stays like that through the end of the season.
He can grow back in the movies. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he can go back whenever. It's just.
What would the opposite of that line be then?
Smooth as a android's bottom. But, they could. I mean, this is for jumping to the movies, but you could be like, "Oh, you grew the beard back," and it's like. It was. You could say something like, "It was time." Basically, I'm comfortable enough.
He never had it
who
in the
I
first
am.
place. I mean,
he did.
Well, it's only because he was stranded on a planet for 8 years.
Exactly
9 years.
That's why I love in Liaisons having a line where he's like, "I haven't had access to a razor in 8 years." Because he's not gonna. He's like, I tried fine tuning the phaser to. It's like, but I'm like, nah.
Oh, I could make I could carve a complete matte painting. But I couldn't cut my beard, so
Yeah, it's a phaser. It's not designed to do that. Okay, so I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on Liaisons, but that's the moment where he shaves his beard. Mm-hmm. So now we have a Geordi-heavy episode with Interface.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to do a ton with Thomas here.
Or Data, because I think this changes Data, too. Because I feel like with this change, it's Riker and Data that both change.
Well, and because isn't Data who's the one who helps him go down? It's been a while since I've watched it, but it's Data, right? Who mans the controls?
I can't remember.
While he
probably
dangerously goes down?
Yeah.
Well, but that's also different because he's commander now.
Yeah. So that's a bit more of a deal, and maybe this gives a little bit of a reprimand for Picard, where he's like, I know he's your friend, but you can't do that. You can't stick around in engineering anymore. You got to be up here on the bridge.
Well, no, not that. But he's basically like it's a lesson, because I'm fine with Data learning lessons. He needs to. He's not going to fit perfectly in this commander role out of the bat, and so this is kind of he's kind of like, this was lieutenant level thinking. Like you as a commander, you cannot do this. You cannot disregard my orders and help your friend. That cannot work.
Sorry, just real quick, going back a little bit. Do we get to see Data manually reconnect the saucer and the star drive section?
At some point.
I feel like it's less impressive for Data since he's just a computer. He can just run the program.
Whoa. Here comes Daniel's true thoughts.
But I'm just.
I'm trying to remember, when does he do that? Was that in Interface?
No. Sorry.
No, he's talking about manually reconnecting the saucer.
When Riker, that's when Picard made Riker.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't. But
every first officer of the Enterprise.
But we're not retconning that Data was the commander for the entire
No, we're saying
run.
in order to be the first officer of the Enterprise, you have to have manually put together.
Oh,
he
that's
made Riker perform for him to impress him. So I'm wondering if Data has to go through the same thing, or if maybe
it's their version of the holodeck promotion.
You're right. I forgot that we made that our standard to become commander. He's just like, well, I just wrote a subroutine. I'm using 0.001 of my computing power to do this.
I'm actually more accurate than the Enterprise computer. I can just.
They were off 10 microns, I noticed, by the way.
He activates the manual steering column on the Enterprise D, and he's just like, not even looking. He's looking off to Picard as he docks. He's like, Captain, it's like a total flex moment.
Do you want me to close my eyes, Captain?
Oh, even better. Yeah. And then Picard's like, I should have come up with a better task. But okay, yeah, sure. We could throw that into liaisons or something to pep it up a little bit.
And I think either Thomas becomes not generic, but becomes generic yellow shirt in that anytime there's an engineering, because it's always like, in season 7 we don't have O'Brien, we don't have Wesley, we always Barclay. So like Data's always like the other guy in engineering. So I think Thomas becomes like, because I know he's ops, but like just like Data was ops. So I think Geordi will actually may become friends with Thomas because he's going to be sort of the yellow shirt who's helping him out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Where does this friend dynamics work? And you know what? It actually kind of also makes more sense that Thomas would bond with Geordi, because not that Geordi didn't have a good relationship with Will, but it's like you got to start somewhere else that wasn't he's not starting with Diana. Like that's way too much. But I like that. Yeah, it's the two, like you said, the two gold shirts down in engineering, because Data's not down there.
I was actually thinking you could do something fun with Worf too.
Because like the trio, like they all go drinking together or something.
Yeah, they're all the same rank, and like you could
the yellow shirt mafia.
I want to see them all at a bar, not Guinan's.
God,
but
those red shirts.
Holodeck.
I think they're all so.
Yeah, and they're just like they're unbuttoned their stuff a little bit.
I can see Geordi like, what? Since Data got red, he's been a real asshole. Yeah, I'm saying it.
Yeah.
It would be interesting too, because. Not that, like, Will was very friendly, especially with the senior staff, and he's definitely approachable by his friends.
But he's a junior officer.
But he is their commanding officer, and now if you
we can see a side of him
element,
that is different.
Yeah, you would definitely have like a different reaction from the other characters to Thomas.
I mean, I know it totally shakes up season 7, but I kind of think Jonathan Frakes would relish the chance to go a totally different direction on this established character.
I mean, we're basically Ezri Daxing this season 7, which is fine.
I mean, even more so, though, because it's like Terry Farrell coming back and playing
another
next
Dax,
but totally different. But yeah, no, but that's a really good point, Daniel. I mean, because that's kind of discovering as we're going through these episodes. It's not as much about the episodes; it's about how do the dynamics change. And
who's hosting poker in their quarters?
One of the gold shirts, down in engineering. Because so that's one thing I think we have to define. What kind of a gold shirt is he? Is he security, operations, or
just make him operations? Just make him. He takes Data's role.
That's what Data was.
Yeah.
But wait, wouldn't
or engineering?
Wouldn't he be like? Isn't he like a great pilot? Can we make him the con officer and then get? Everybody's a good pilot, yeah. But
yeah, I know.
But I'm just thinking like.
Well, he's Data. If he's taking Data's slot, that was operations versus the con, which was the other chair.
Right.
But that's a junior spot. You don't ever put.
Yeah, and usually a red shirt spot, which we don't want to change his shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't really see Thomas / Will as like an ops person. I just don't like. That's not.
Well, that's why I'm wondering: do we make
you didn't
him
know
engineering?
Young Will, not like I did.
Well, what if we make him engineering because he had to basically MacGyver together the systems of that station for 8 years?
I could see that, but the problem is like then you start taking stuff away from Geordi at that point.
Well, no, but sorry, the reason I also go engineering is because that lets him pair with Geordi a lot easier.
Okay.
So think of like Barclay. Like Barclay was engineering, and we got a lot of Barclay Geordi dynamics. So I'm kind of playing off of that same thing, where basically, well, here's the real question: is who of the senior staff is his direct report? I think it would be Geordi.
We need to see some flowcharts here.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if he's security, it's Worf, and if he's engineering, it's Geordi.
Well, who
and
did
if
Data
it's ops,
report to?
I guess it would be Data.
Well, who did Data report to?
Yeah, he was
to the XO.
There wasn't really an.
It was Riker, right? Because he was a department head. So
yeah.
I guess he would have to fill that role. I don't think it makes sense to put him in. I mean, it makes sense what you're saying, Darren. But if you put him in engineering, then he wouldn't be on the bridge, kind of a thing. Like, there's no reason for him to be up there. He would have to be ops at that point.
And also, not that I think this makes a difference, but then of course you'd have to watch every episode to see if it does. presumably, and this is a presumption, presumably now Worf is second officer. So then you have to make sure if Picard or Data are never on the bridge, Worf has to be in the command chair.
Oh yeah,
Which
he
is
would
awesome.
He would be third in command.
But I'm just trying to think, like,
Yeah.
how does that shake any episode up, you know?
Yeah. Okay, let's keep him in ops because that just is an easiest replacement of Data.
Your cover
Data's
art has to
role.
be canon. That's the only thing we have
But
to
I like
remain
the idea, my cover. But I like that idea though of him interacting with Geordi's the first kind of.
He's
old
catching
crew
him up
that he
on
connects
8
with.
years of Starfleet
Yeah.
technology. You know, he's sort of his assigned mentor or whatever.
Well,
you want to.
well, now I'm thinking, Philip, you made my brain start going. If so, it was in order of command. It was Picard, Riker, Data, then Geordi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We try not
think
to go to
that's-
engineering if we don't have to, but yeah.
Well, and then Worf.
Yeah.
Well, and then
Right.
Worf, right? So,
Right.
if in this shakeup it would be Picard, Data, then Worf, then
Well,
Geordi.
Yeah. Because I think it's you can make, like, rank doesn't dictate position, but
Worf's a lieutenant and Geordi's a lieutenant commander.
but
No, they're-
Worf's on the
oh.
bridge. You know,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like those things in the original series, like technically
But
Scotty.
Geordi gets promoted a lot. He starts as a JG and he ends up like lieutenant commander by 7, I think.
But it's like technically, like on TOS, Scotty was often in charge, but like Sulu
Right.
was kind of the third off, like because he's there on the bridge. It's hard to, you know.
that's true.
So it's however you.
But I like that. I
Yeah.
think we'll keep that in mind as we go through because I think having Worf in the center seat more is going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're on to Gambit now.
Ooh, sorry. Just for 2 seconds. I don't, just
but
just
in
to
2 seconds.
Plant the thought. In Descent, when Data goes crazy, technically Worf's acting first officer for that part. But anyway, so that might
Yeah.
be interesting.
All right, so we're in Gambit, and yeah, like you guys are saying, this plays pretty similar.
Worf's in charge. It's during
Where?
Gambit.
Yeah.
Captain
Because-
Worf.
Captain War.
No, because Data's there.
No. Okay.
No.
Data.
Sorry, we were
Oh,
saying
you're right.
because we're
You're right,
saying
you're right.
Thomas is kidnapped instead of
Yeah, you're right.
Commander.
You're right.
Commander Riker.
You're right.
So, and we need that because we need a we need a Thomas Picard episode to really cement.
And we still need our Data War scene.
Yeah, and then we still get the Data
Do
War
not
scene.
recall Commander Riker ever talking to Captain.
Yeah, and which could totally play straight the same way it did.
Now that
because
you're second officer, and then you can kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
now that you're second, it's like if you're ever gonna wear red, Lieutenant,
What if Worf goes to red? All right, go ahead. Keep going.
or you mean
Well,
back to red?
Spoilers. He does.
Yes, yeah.
So okay, yeah, but I mean, there's really not much to say about Gambit. I think it would literally play out
But it'd be good
very much.
that, we'd learn. I'm not going to write the script, but I mean, we'd learn more about Jean-Luc talking to Thomas during those private moments.
Yes.
Because, it's been a while since I've seen it. But Gambit relies on that Jean-Luc Will relationship where they're, playing this roles, but they're still, but there is no relationship. So you got to build that quickly.
And you also have a little bit of, the Enterprise crew in the Prime Gambit, like they know Will, and when he's all trying to use his access codes, but how would that play with Thomas is doing it? Like, I think they would kind of for a half second be like, I'm pretty sure
Ooh.
he's on our side, but like
That adds
we don't
to it.
know this guy
I like it.
as much. So it means even more. So again, playing the same way, but it means even more when Data's like, drop the shields, because you're like, okay, they're trusting Thomas a lot, and he still does the exact same thing that Will did, but it means more. I think that would
adds
be
the
cool.
stakes, or adds some suspense because the audience doesn't know Thomas, and so maybe
Right.
you can kind of think it doesn't have to be like but crazy, but it's a two-part. You can play with a little bit like maybe Thomas has decided this is his life. And,
This could be the episode where
This is his out, his possible out to a new life.
This could be where people start like we have the beginning clip where it's like people are calling him Will and like he's just getting
and he's
annoyed.
just like, this isn't working, guys.
This doesn't feel right. I don't fit here. And then like you were talking about, Philip, like
that long trombone staring him down from the corner of the room.
And then like during their private conversations with Picard can be that like that comfortable mentor and like understanding guy who says like, I know you're not Will, and I know it's tough, but like
a lot of people used to call me the cutest.
Well, and I think we could say that, we could write it where Picard never calls him Will.
Yeah.
Picard is the one person who never slips up because that's Picard.
Broccoli.
He's not going to do that. Well, and we could, we can interject some of our own backstory for Thomas where we could say something like, he had access to the ship's computer, so he read a lot. So he's a little more cultured and read than Will was, because what do you do for 8 years when you got to keep yourself busy? So he can meet Picard on that intellectual level that other people have, and again, that makes something different about the character than Will. And we can do whatever we want with that because we can write whatever.
And the backstory works perfectly. Again, not having seen Gambit recently, but like, don't they have to like invent a backstory for Will Riker for him to get accepted to the pirate ship? Whereas you don't have to. Like the backstory could just be like, we'll just do what happened.
Which is funny because they're clearly not going to buy it. They're like, wait, you're saying Will Riker is dead?
It's the same reaction Ducat has.
The same reaction as Ducat. It's a wonderful story.
It's a great story, man. Great story, bro. But
it's just a running joke anytime a bad person is told this story.
Yeah, and I don't forget the character's name, but he's like, you expect me to buy this? Like, this is crazy. And we're just laughing because, we're like, well, what's the best lie is literally the truth. And it's so unbelievable that, okay. So I think that's pretty much Gambit, but by the end, Picard, we've really learned what is that Picard-Thomas relationship. And Thomas has also, like I said, it was his out. If he wanted to, break away from Starfleet, like, this is kind of a platter right in front of him. But he doesn't. He doubles down, and he's like, I'm going to stay on the Enterprise. And so by the end of Gambit, I also want them to establish that, maybe Picard makes an announcement or something, and he's like, like I've talked to the Starfleet Admiralty, and officially, Thomas is now assigned to, and he, and we get a specific where he's like Mr. Riker, like not that he hasn't called him Mr. Riker, but like there's a period at the end of that where it feels like you are here with us now.
And this is just a subtle thing. Maybe previous to this, he was sort of floating. Like maybe he was assistant engineer and chief and main engineer, and maybe this is when he gets planted to ops.
He tries a little security. Basically, he stays in the gold shirt, but he tries all three.
And this is the one. And so you sort of end it. I don't want to be melodramatic, but you sort of can end this episode with Riker walking down, taking his post. And, the captain's like, welcome to the bridge, Mr. Riker.
Maybe they're leaving space dock after repairs or something, and he's like, doing some ops thing where he's like ready to move out, blah, blah, blah. All crew are
scanning for life forms and 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, but it's funny because he's pushing the buttons, but of course he's pushing them in a Thomas way, not in a Data way. And then even better, I don't know why they're leaving space dock, but
it's fine. It's fine
for some reason.
Yeah.
So he's like, ready to get underway, and then we pan over to Data, and Data's got his little side panel, and he's like like really, really fast with one hand, and he's like, orders confirmed, Captain. Like, obviously, it's kind of the more things change, the more they stay the same kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. And then we head off, and it's we see the Enterprise gracefully pulling out of space dock, and I feel like it's the whole point of this scene is really saying, we've turned the page. This is what Star Trek is for the rest of the season.
And I don't want to milk it, but I almost want to sort of have, like, even for just a second or two, have the shot of everyone on the bridge. Like, this is the new bridge crew. Like, Data, and then maybe,
the music swells.
And Geordi's in the background.
Yeah, we're milking it. And it's coming.
It's the promo shot. It's the season 7 promo shot.
And Data stands up and does the leg thing on the console in front.
And Picard just raises an eyebrow.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's a joke too far, but, Okay, moving on. We have another Data episode. We have Phantasms. Where he has strange dreams.
That one's pretty straight, I think.
It pretty much plays the same way, except for he's wearing red.
Yeah.
Next we have...
Troy makes a little Data in red cake at the end.
That's true, yeah. So we have Dark Page. So this is going to be interesting.
Pretty much.
This is also where we need to establish how we're going to handle Thomas. And
we did have that discussion.
Exactly, yeah. And I think, because he is going to be trying to support her, but will she accept that? Because I think at Dark Page...
It starts with a date on Beta Z, isn't it?
Or no, in the Arboretum.
Is it in the Arboretum?
I thought... we promise we've watched Next Gen, guys.
I mean, I can't remember. No. The Arboretum is when Deanna's taking her mom to the Arboretum. But maybe I'm mixing up.
It starts with Loxana Troy returning to the Enterprise.
Maybe I'm thinking of Menage a Trois is what I'm thinking of. Menage a Trois.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah, sorry. Never mind. I don't think...
Basically it starts with Loxana beaming aboard, which is always like, hey, here we go. But she's not her usual flamboyant self.
Are we going to have a Loxana Thomas? Like... I mean, Thomas is going to be like, your mom. I don't know what that dynamic would have been like 9 years ago.
So let's say, okay. So
did he ever meet the mom 9 years ago? For all we know.
Well, here's the question. So, Loxana always liked Will, right? I'm trying to remember. I
feel like there was not enough emphasis placed on that relationship early on.
It was more like, why aren't you guys already together?
Why isn't Deanna married and he seems the obvious target? So just pick him.
So how is she going to treat Thomas?
What if does
she see it as like
you have a second chance and then you take it?
What if he's really excited to see her because the last time that they interacted was when they were on Beta Z and everything was bubbling up.
I like assuming that they have met already.
Met the mom.
That makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
So, but again, he acts very different than Will does. Because that's the other thing we could lean into is. Remember, whenever Loxana showed up, Will was always kind of like,
bemused.
Hey, Loxana. It was kind of like the mother-in-law in name was showing up, and he was always like, eh.
See, I think, too, that Loxana would also be an interesting character because she would also immediately be able to tell that he's a different person, that he's not the same.
Maybe she hadn't been told that...
that's true. That's true. It wouldn't have been come up.
Yeah, naturally. It would be weird that Deanna
didn't say anything.
Hey, by the way, Will died, and
Will, why are you not in red? Are you thinking of a?
Where's the beard?
Where's the beard?
You look like a child.
Or maybe we could get. Let's do both. She does know, but she plays it like she doesn't. Mm-hmm. So she's kind of like. For half a moment, where's the beard? Why are you wearing gold? And then she's like, well, no, of course. Diane, of course you're different, sweetheart. I could totally tell.
Yeah, everyone can tell.
From your thoughts, you're checking me out.
Oh, God. She's not like that this episode. This is a serious episode.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. She's not. Oh, man, Dark Page is it goes in a totally different direction because it's at its core, it's all about Loxana not dealing with death and the trauma. And so we can parallel that with Diana. And it's like, how is she dealing with Will's death? And is she going down the same road where she's kind of ignoring it and burying it? And it becomes the focus where, yes, we're also lifting Loxana out and helping her, but it's kind of a don't follow the same path I did, child, or it's gonna mess you up. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I would just be worried or cautious that you weren't turning that serious subject matter into relationship fodder, if that makes sense. I'd just be worried that
No, yeah, we could definitely play down we don't even have to do the funny stuff with Thomas. We can
it's just
do
a quick
where
scene.
she scans him and she's like, "Oh, you're," like she's kind of almost caught off guard because she's like, Will's mind was always a comfort in his stability, and now it's different, and it's another thing that's different, and it's kind of. She's already off her game, and we're like, "What's up with Loxana?" She's kind of
maybe this is the impetus that she has to fully. Maybe at this point she's been really standoffish with Thomas, and like ever since the death of Will, she was like not just like kind of like kept him at arm's length. And this,
sorry, we're talking about Diana.
Yeah,
is that what I said?
Okay,
yeah.
No, you just we had just talked about Loxana.
Oh,
so
sorry.
I was just trying to make sure who we were talking about.
Yeah, so like at the end of the episode, Deanna's like Loxana, like you can't just ignore this, it doesn't just go away. And then she realizes, oh my goodness,
maybe she does a name catch. She's like, Thomas is still here. Like she has a name drop.
So she has like maybe a scene, maybe next episode or the end of the episode where she's like she kind of accepts him more. Like she accepts that it's different, but not in like a romantic way, but just like even in like a personal way.
Well, I could see that in Second
and
Chances.
That works really well.
They left it open. Sorry. I mean, because and so I think theoretically, like she could have still been like that relationship was still active. But when Will died, presumably Deanna was like, it feels like a betrayal.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much at once. Yeah. Well, and I like the fact that, I mean, Will kind of helped them through this family crisis in this episode, and I think Thomas can do the same. And so that, at its core, is really showing Diana, like, I'm not that different from the Will you knew. Like, we're still have some sort of relationship.
Technically,
yeah.
So I think the goal of this episode is by the end, they've come to an understanding. And they're not like avoiding each other in the hallways anymore. Again, it's kind of like the episode where Ezra comes on board and Will is super awkward with her.
Worf, you mean?
Not Will. Sorry, Worf.
Whoa, wait a minute, Will. That's
that was Thomas.
We're rewriting Deep Space Nine now. Let's go.
But I'll throw out. I mean, this is again. You don't have to like go heavy, but I think.
This is a pretty heavy episode, guys.
No, I meant like as far as the storyline, and you don't have to do it this episode, but like kind of how Ezri and Bashir, I think that's how Thomas and Deanna can be. Like, I think they're going to start again. It doesn't have to be like they're going to get married in like 5 episodes, but I think they can start dating basically.
But it's definitely not going to be kind of the flirty, we're old in our relationship that we saw in Second Chances.
It's almost new again.
Like, it's really new again. Like they're starting over.
And if Will and Thomas and Deanna start dating, like say midway through the season, we can eliminate the entire Deanna Worf.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's. And, sorry guys, that's gone. That's going to be gone.
Yeah, just saying. Anyways.
All right. So next we have Attached. That's pretty much a Picard Crusher episode. Like I don't even remember what everybody else does, but I don't think we even need to touch that. Next we have Force of Nature. Again, I'm trying to think like what is the main thing with our crew? Who's the one who believes them and doesn't believe them? That's a Geordi episode, right?
Probably. I don't know.
That's the
that's the don't go warp 9 in our area.
There's not a lot to probably adjust there, I would say.
Season 7's not gold. Keep on going.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, I can tell you the next one we're going to get to if you want me to just. But you go ahead and name the episode.
Well, okay. Inheritance, Data, Encounter. So the Data's mom plays pretty same. I mean, he's just in red.
Yeah.
He's just in red.
She's really proud of his promotion.
He's first officer of the Enterprise. I mean, that's pretty cool.
This is like she's really proud because what mom would
have been lame if you were just the ops officer.
He's like, yeah, totally. Okay, parallels.
Bam. Okay, this is where we go. This is where we go because
I think we're at time, so let's push this up. No, I'm just kidding.
This is where we're going to get the return because we thought we're done, we're moved on. Thomas, bam! Commander Will Riker's back, everyone.
Yep, in a parallel universe.
So which Riker?
Okay. No, it's still Worf. It's the same thing, but like half the realities are going to be. I mean, I think you still have you still have Captain Riker.
What if you had? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because that was one of the things with parallels. Isn't in one of the times Data was in red,
Yeah.
or his eyes were different, or something.
He had blue
you
eyes
know.
in one episode.
Worf doesn't know whether it's Thomas or Will. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going.
Man, what if... I'd have to really rewatch the episode because it's been a little while. But
Okay, so here's the question: if we're not doing anything with the Troy-Worf relationship, what is the difference in that universe if it's not that they're married?
No, that can happen. That can happen.
It's just bizarre. It's Bizarreville.
Is it that, or is it that Will is still alive?
It's a multiverse.
Is that the big difference?
Because if there's no Thomas in that reality, then you could still have Worf Troy.
So this is what I'm thinking. The big difference
True.
you make here is that every alternate reality has Will. Every single one of them has Will.
Yeah, there's no Thomas except in Prime.
No Thomas that exists.
Thomas is at his birthday party.
Yeah.
And that's
the only
actually,
way you know.
Oh yeah, because that's the Prime
Yep.
one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that would be also
I
interesting.
love
because-
surprise parties, Lieutenant Worf.
Oh well, I think that's definitely something you would say, and that's true because that could also be.
I waited 8 years for one.
It's the Thomas test. It's an easy way for
Thomas
Worf,
test.
for Worf to tell. Yeah, like if he flashes, he just goes, "Where's Thomas?" And people are like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, an alternate universe. It just can't be the right one."
Well, he won't pick up on that right away, but that could be the end. That could be the end result.
Yeah.
Like it's like.
Well, I mean,
everything
it's not like it's not like sliders. There's not like slight variations where he's accidentally thinks he's back. It's like it's really clear that he's in different universes each time.
because his trophy changes. Is that what you're telling me?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it.
But I just like the sort of the mind F to fans. Like, yeah, we're just doing Commander Riker this episode. You thought we were done. No. We're like, no, I thought it was over. I thought it.
Now, remind me, is this the one with the Riker
Crazy beard.
Crazy beard?
Yes.
Crazy beard Riker.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we're not getting rid of him. Come on now.
Wait a minute. What if you had?
Is it Crazy Thomas beard?
This is kind of tough to wrap. What if you had like a scene, like is in the episode right now, that happens, and the only thing that's to us it seems right, but the only thing that's different is Will is still alive, and Worf would have to know that. So it's exactly the same, except it's Will instead of Thomas.
Yeah, I mean it's tricky though because there's never a moment in the episode where he thinks he's back because they're not trying to get him back until the very end and then it works. So there's never a fake out. You know what I mean?
Where he thinks he's home. Yeah.
I see what
Where
you're saying.
where he thinks now we could do that where they try to make it work and he thinks he's back, but then Will walks
The Thomas
in,
test.
The
Thomas test, and then he realizes it's not, and then the actual attempt is one where it breaks and there's 1,000 enterprises.
Right.
So we just get one try before that try.
Man, Parallels is such a good episode.
You could even
It's so
have,
good.
and again, you don't have to milk it. You could have a brief, doesn't have to be long, brief scene where Worf tells Will, like a little, goodbye, like a little,
So kind of,
I never got the chance to tell you.
it's kind of yesterday's Enterprise then.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Tasha gets to say goodbye, like what she didn't before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I like that. So but he's not telling him why he's saying goodbye. He's just basically
saying, I've never told you before, sir.
yeah.
Blah,
But it's
blah,
been a
blah,
pleasure
blah, blah.
serving with you, and
Right.
blah blah blah, and you have great honor, and I want to date Diana now.
And if a Riker gives me permission, it counts. No takey-backies.
If a Riker gives me
Doesn't matter which Riker it is. As long as I get permission from a Riker, I'm good to go.
All right. Yeah, it's okay. I love the Thomas test. I think that's hilarious. But yeah, so then in the end we get Crazy Beard Riker and
that's the last we see of that character.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because it actually gives Jonathan Frakes a moment to play Will again. And yeah, no, that's fun though because
Will puts his right leg up on stuff. And
that's how I knew the difference.
left leg up.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, so many changes. Heck, you could change it way up, and in one of those times, it's not the change isn't that Data's in red, because he's already in red. It's Data's the captain. Like, because isn't one of those... Yeah, it's been a while, but one of those is where Picard doesn't come back from the Borg,
Which
right?
would still be Will, yeah.
And Will is the captain.
But
There's also
you can do whatever you want.
There's a Cardassian con officer in one of those.
Yeah.
So lots of interesting
that.
stuff there. But,
I think the only challenge, whatever, we're still going to do it. The only challenge is if Frakes is shaved, we're going to have to do a fake looking beard.
It's easy. It's
I know.
to do it that way. It's easier to do it that way.
Yeah, we'd figure that out.
Yeah.
They didn't do it for second chances, but we can make that work.
We'll make it work.
Use archival footage if we have to. All right. Well, next we're getting to the Pegasus, but I think we're going to have to save that for a part 2, as we're only at episode 11 of season 7. I think you guys warned me. Somebody warned me that this was probably going to take longer than one episode, but I think this has been a lot of fun, and I think we'll definitely pick it back up next week and continue on our Thomas spree. It means I got to edit more Thomas out of Thomas cover art. But yeah, because I think I want to give Pegasus its due.
Come on, you just go to Photoshop, red to yellow, you're done.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
R equals Y.
Turn that one tip into a half pip.
R equals Y.
Shave the beard. Go to Insurrection. Take that face. Come on.
Well, yeah, now I'm not going to shave him. That's a whole nother... I got to find...
Insurrection?
That means I have to find season 1 clips to insert the head into season 7 backgrounds.
No, it's Insurrection. He was shaved in Insurrection. You just take that.
That's true. That's
one scene in the bath, right?
Walking down the hallway when he was the joystick. There you go. Thomas with the joystick.
There's a lot of him.
Yeah.
But
just dated, right? And the Thomas test.
Yeah, but let's leave parallels to next week, because that's going to take a little bit of time, because that's a main one.
Yeah, we already talked about
one for him.
Pegasus.
Which is funny, because maybe I'll have to change the art for this week, because we don't actually talk about Pegasus, and that's literally what I made the cover art for. But okay, so yeah, well, Philip, where could somebody find you if they were interested in talking about Thomas and what division he wants to be in?
I've never liked the name Philip, to be honest. So they can reach Hunter Gilfus over on Twitter at NC Public Servant.
And Daniel, if someone wanted to talk to you about how you would shave if you were stuck in a planet for 8 years,
they can find me on Twitter at OneUpDan. That is the number 1 and not the word.
if someone wanted to talk to me about why I think I could talk about a whole season of Star Trek in one episode, they can find me at drsci-fi.com, DRSCIFI. Well, I'm John Moser.
I'm Hunter Gilfus.
I'm Glenn Prue.
Stranded here in a parallel universe on Steady Alpha 3.